saying like, yeah, but those are difficult teams to play and we were away from home? Or do I need to maybe put more pressure on the team to like live up to that and to take that advantage? Because they have done it one time where City dropped points and then we turned around and beat Spurs after. That was like a big like moment, but we were at home against a shittier side, so I don't really know, but I do think that injuries do take a toll. I think I think the struggle with the injury conversation is that we went into the season saying we have all this great depth, but ultimately when we play
and we're in the same position, more players, same. I don't know what's going on.
Well, we'd be in the position that we were in last season had we had not, if Berta and whoever else had not gone out there and did a great job. So essentially, we're in the exact same position. From we're getting so many injuries, we just happen to have better quality depth. Now it's being tested, and we're dropping points, and we just playing against like Chelsea, where it's a cup final for them, a Villa, where it's a cup final for them, a Sunderland.
Chelsea won the way their fans were walking about that. They won
100%. That's where I kind of feel like, I want to see us persevere over these things, but I can understand that we were tore up. Like the back was looking and this is like no offense to Hincapié and Mascaras and players like that, but it's just not the same. So I don't know. I think they're kind of missed opportunities, and I don't know. You got to get a little bit of luck. We're not really getting that luck, so we'll see. But we have like a good run coming up to get players minutes and get players rest, because these are the winnable fixtures before we have to play Aston Villa again. So that's what I kind of want us to settle the ship a little bit right now. We know we're going to be in the final, the 8 that go through for the Champions League. We can kind of chill on that and rotate a little bit more.
We got Inter in January the next time. I don't know if Arteta's going to go for the risk for rest in that game.
Here's my thing, though. I feel like I get it that we want to make a statement all the time, but we don't make statements at the right time. I feel like the statements that we needed to make, we did not make them. The Bayern statement means so much less now.
To be fair, last year, Real Madrid, apologies. That's harsh. That's harsh, yes. I make you right, but I'm checking myself even, because I actually agree with you. Are we not being a bit harsh? A bit harsh.
Listen, I'm just saying that, like, at the end of the day, had you had chosen the 2 games that we would have won in that 3-game period, it would have been the 2 Prem games. We could have suffered a Bayern draw or something like that. We could have suffered it. Nobody's thinking about that Bayern win. Nobody's thinking about it. But it's harsh in the way where I know that you can't pick and choose. I'm just saying that, like, now that we know, we can still put out strong lineups, but I think we can also look at the Premier League a little bit more and say, how can we be as strong as we can there and also be strong in the Champions League without we don't need to make a statement against Inter. We don't. Rotate.
But we do need to be competitive.
We do need to be competitive, but we can be competitive without like risking somebody that we know we're going to need in a Prem game. That's
Wrap people in cotton wool. You said winnable games, yeah? I know what you mean, yeah, but for the benefit of someone that might not, like, where are these winnable games for you? Obviously, I'll help you. We're not even that you need help, but we both are probably in alignment. If we don't beat Wolves, it's crash out settings. Like, come on, Arsenal. Like, you need to move to them. Like, obviously 3 points first, but I need to see 3 points, bare goals, complete domination, feel good factor, people getting hooked at halftime because it's a write-off. Cricket score, like, I'm exaggerating, but Wolves need to hold 7, if I'm honest with you. Gyökeres, I need a hat-trick, etc. But, like, what would you say? So Wolves is 1, obviously. Maybe you disagree with Wolves.
No, I think Wolves are the worst team in the league.
100%.
So we need to we're at fucking home. Like, I'm sorry. It's gotta be a 6. It's gotta be nasty. It really does. And it's an opportunity for, if Declan is not up, sit him. Saka, get him some rest, whatever. Just do it.
I can't lie, full strength against Wolves. I'll be real. Full strength.
I don't think so. I think
you don't want to go full strength. We need these 3 points, 2-point gap.
Yeah, but we're at home and we're going to get the 3 points. We're going to get them. Like,
we got to earn the right to win it, though. And I don't know.
No, I hear that. I just feel like, do you not think that, like, how much better do you think Club Brugge is than Wolves. I feel like Club Brugge might be a better team than
No,
Wolves.
I make you right with that. You're spitting facts. I
You see what
don't
I'm
disagree
saying?
with that. It's just the fact that like we're 2 points clear. As much as I think we could go out there with the strongest team or a rotated side, respectfully to Wolves, if there's any Wolves fans listening, we should be beating you lot up. But there, we've almost got first world problems. We're talking about winning titles and crying about not beating informed sides. These men are fighting
Mhm.
for their lives. Obviously we've got 2 points. I want my 3 points. And then obviously you mentioned missed opportunities, yeah. And whether we're being harsh or not, maybe if we won against Sunderland away and City at home and Liverpool away and this one and that one, or even two of those, I might be a bit more reluctant. But I
Mhm.
just want my 3 points, man. Like I need those 3 points. So I'm gonna go with the strongest team though. But you're
I don't
right, you
think you
can rotate.
can. I
What
think
would
you
your
need
11 be?
honestly, I'm trying to get as many people minutes as possible that need it. I'm thinking keep Madueke on, maybe start with
So
Gyökeres
Madueke on the right.
on the right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Madueke on the
Gyökeres
right.
through the middle.
Start with Gyökeres, and then if we're winning and all that kind of stuff, 60 minutes, take him off, get Jesus on left. Then it just depends, but it could be Eze, it could be Martinelli. It doesn't really matter to me. But I think Eze needs some rest. Start Odegaard, start Zubi, start someone else in that midfield. I know
Zubi
we
looks
don't
spent as
love
well, man.
he does, but I mean, this is the situation that we're in right now.
If needs
Declan
must,
is
yeah.
probably the most like concerning. We need him back. Like, so Zubi might have to just, you know, whatever, play Marino in midfield. I know we don't like it, but like, what are the other options? Do you know what I mean?
None.
Um, you're going to have to play Miles. So that's just Calafiori is out. This is a great game for Calafiori to be out. To be honest, it's fortuitous at home against the worst team. Hincapié, who do we really have for right center back? Like what's really going on with
You're
Timber?
gonna
What
go
we
with
doing?
Norgard,
I
or you're
guess
gonna
so.
go with Ben White and or Timber, like one of the three.
Well, where is Timber? Like, what happened to him? Like, what's going on? Do you
I think
know?
Arteta's lying a bit, man. I just think he rested Rice and Timber. Now I don't know. We're gonna have to wait until tomorrow in the press conference. But when you're telling me Rice is ill and he hasn't travelled, that's just
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like when you call in for work and you say I got diarrhea, I can't come in. There's no way of proving it. Timber, I think, you know what, Timber, there might be something in that, And I think he said Calafiori had a knock. But that's the annoying thing just with Arteta in that you never know. He could
You
be
never
making
know.
this all up. He could be
Saliba's
downplaying
meant
it.
to have been back for like he's
Yeah, he keeps telling us that, like, oh, a couple weeks,
yeah,
couple weeks. He's back soon. He's back soon. And on one hand, I want these guys back when they're actually fit. But this
yeah.
is what I keep saying on my channel. I'm not dealing with nothing until the match day comes. Whoever's on the bench, who's in the 11, that's where my thoughts are, not all the other stuff, because you just don't know.
Yeah. So maybe like let's say yeah, let's just assume, let's be positive that Timber will be back. So I would play him right-sided center back, play Ben White. I think he's looked pretty good so far coming back. And then Ryan, just go about your business. I don't know. That's all you can really do at this stage.
Everybody forgive me, but if we're playing Wolves on the weekend, which we are, David Raya, you're going in goal. Benjamin White or Timber, you lot sort it out. Who wants to go centre half or right back? You know what? White, I'm gonna go with you at centre half. Timber, go right back in. Capia, you're in. Lewis Skelly, you're in. I don't know if I said Raya, but I'll mention Raya again. Rice, Zubamendi. You know what? F it, man. Do you know what? I actually think that this can work, but Villa weren't the one for it. Martin Odegaard, Eze. Eze, you took a bit of a break against Club Brugge, or you could go Martinelli. Really and truly, I don't really care. Where's Trossard, by the way? But let's just go Eze, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres. I want my 3 points, man. I want my strongest team out there.
Saka?
Go. Saka, bro. Saka, you're
Why?
going out there. Saka, you're going out there. Saka, you're going out there. You got a little rest. You're going out there. You need to score some goals. I want my three. Just, I don't think you understand. I want my 3 points. I am going to crash out if we do not beat Wolves
I know,
because I don't
but
want to hear nothing about where fans go. Because
yeah,
obviously,
but
go
if
on.
we don't beat Wolves, even with the lineup that I said, that don't have anything to do with putting in a rotated lineup. That's just because
Everyone
the
has
guys
to get
weren't on it.
reps.
That's just because they weren't on it. Like realistically, we should be able to rotate against Wolves at home and
You're right. You're
utilize
not
like we
wrong.
are so like once we get beyond there and we play Villa again, Bournemouth away, like there's not going to be any time for this. We have to take this with all the injuries that we've had and the fact that like we're not going to get this opportunity again. We have to take it.
We lost.
Sorry.
We lost the Villa. I want my reaction, man. You're not right. You're not wrong. Like it don't matter what team goes out there. But if you put a gun to my head and I'm screaming it's a must win, yes, Arsenal versus Wolves, it's not the biggest game on the calendar, but in terms of the points gap, in terms of wanting to react, I'm going. You put a gun to my head, I have to go with my strongest team. You lot go out there, do the job. You can all get. We got 5 subs. You can all get hooked really, and we need to build momentum again. You do that, you get hooked in at halftime or the hour mark. We've got a week to go until Everton away, which goes back to what you're saying. To be fair, in that you can rotate if you get the 3 points against Wolves. Obviously, you got a bit of rest going into Everton. Everton makes me a bit nervy. Is Everton one of these winnable games that you mentioned?
I'm sorry.
I'm nervous about
at
that.
this stage, we need to be feeling confident we're going to beat Everton.
I'm scared, man.
I'm actually tired of these Everton games looking scary for us. Like, I get it that it's not an easy game. There's no easy game in the Premier League, but realistically, we should be beating Everton home and away. I'm over it now.
Do you think he'll rest players? Because obviously 3 days later you got a quarterfinals.
No, but see, this goes back to Wolves. That's the game to rest people so that you can put your strongest 11 up against Everton. Then you have another opportunity against Crystal Palace to, I know people are not going to want to hear this. I'm not saying throw it. I'm just saying that's another opportunity. Get some other people out there.
I think that's where Arteta rotates and does everything. In my honest to God, I think you see a semi-strong lineup here. You have no choice but to go with the strongest 11 Everton away. I think everyone knows that. I think I know what you're saying, and I agree. I'm not saying he's fluking it or throwing it. I think that's where you might, depending on who's available, a rest or rotation or a free hit kind of thing. I know fans want trophies. I do too. So I want us to take it seriously. But, boy, you know what? F it, man. We can beat Everton. We can win that quarterfinal game. I am a bit nervous about Brighton at home. And I hate losing to their manager. I think he's a bit too smug, man. He ain't done nothing to me. But I just don't like. There's something about you I don't like. No, that's it. When I went to the press conference at the start of last season, actually, and Declan Rice got sent off, do you know how smug he was talking?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
He was talking like he did some Pep Guardiola masterclass against us. He thinks he's mad sick at management, which he is, but yeah, humble pie for you.
We also have not a lot, but we have quite a few home games, which I feel like we've had quite a few away games recently, hard away games. A lot, man. So this is a good opportunity. But one thing that I think for sure is while we have these defensive injuries, which I do think we're going to continue to have for probably the next couple of weeks. I don't know.
Why do you think that?
We don't know when Big Gabby is coming back. There's they're very shadowy about Saliba.
You're starting to make me nervous, man.
Yeah. All I'm going to say about this is the time where we're going to need those attacking players to kind of step up, because the defenders are not going to, I'm not saying that they've been saving them, but I mean, we went through the first 10 games conceding 1 goal or some shit. We went
and these same defenders would probably chip in from time to time as well.
Chipping in with goals. Calafiori had quite a goal or two or whatever. Timber, Gabriel, we're gonna need them to carry. I think what I struggle with is when we get into games where our back line was tore up. We had Timber in center back with Hincapié. We had Mascara and Hincapié. These players haven't really played together. They're not really the main.
And you saw it Villa away. First time it actually looked like that. Timber's doing his own thing. Hincapié is doing his own thing. Not that I'm just blaming them, but there's no relationships there.
And in both of those games, they scored 1 goal. 1 goal. That's it. And I'm like, y'all need to, there has to be games every once in a while where they score 2 and we score 3. There has to, at some stage, we need to get to that point. And there's only 2 players that I really trust to come up with big goals at times.
Martinelli.
This season.
You big goals. Did you mean Martinelli?
Martinelli is on there, but it's really Trossard and Marino. I think those are the 2 players.
Yeah, I'm being shameless. You're right.
That have come up with really
Sacks as well, but them 2.
Marino and Trossard have come up with the biggest goals this season so far. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I still think we're waiting on Saka to really get going.
Oh, he set up Marino against Chelsea, no?
He did, but he also was given the ball a lot, and I think he was pretty poor with the things with the balls that he got. I'm not gonna lie. In that game, I felt where, of course, he set up a goal, you give him credit, when you're giving that player 6, 7, 8, 9, you're giving him the ball and he's getting into positions, he's hitting it into the stands, they're overhit.
Chelsea was frustrating. I don't know
Yeah, at a
who got
certain
into him, but
point,
he just
it's like,
shooting from everywhere.
and you're the guy. That's the thing about Saka is like, I feel like the remit for him is not the same remit that we would have for Trossard, where it's like you kind of
He's
expect
dying by
him
his
to have,
standards.
yeah, it's like the standards are so much higher. So at some point, the attackers are going to have to carry a defense that's pretty much carried them for like 2 years, in my opinion. You know, I
And
really
all
think
this season, shout out to, as you said, Marino, but I would say like Trossard. You know, Eze obviously bagged a hat trick and Saka scored some goals, and other players have had their moments. But I think Trossard's the one I would say has been playing out of his skin, give or take.
he's been our best attacker
You're the
this
attacker I got
season.
least energy for, but now
Yeah,
you're injured.
yeah, Trossard's been our best attacker this season. He
Let
has
me
been.
ask you this as well. Sorry to cut you, but like on the topic of Saka, yeah, like, do you think? Because I think obviously I'm not talking about those that have positive, negative, positives about him and negatives and constructive criticism. I guess I'm thinking, but I do think him, and I do think Odegaard, and I do think Gyökeres obviously adjusted expectations. I do think they're getting scapegoated a bit. Like it's gone from something over there to something else. But like, where do you stand on those three?
You said Gyökeres, Odegaard, and who?
Saka, because I think Gyökeres, obviously, you can have criticisms about Gyökeres and if he's the guy and things like that. I know I do as well, and I think every Arsenal fan. But the man's just signed for us, just come back from injury, and it's like you're expecting fireworks. I think the same with Odegaard. I don't think Odegaard's been amazing yet, but particularly in the start of games, he's looked good. Like he's been okay. He's trying to get minutes in the legs, but I think people are nitpicking him. And Saka, I understand the frustrations, but it's like people are like, mainly social media, it's like the way people are in my comments, like you would think Saka is stinking up, like proper
Yeah.
stinking up the gaff, like Saka in Isaac at this moment in time.
Yeah, I
And then
think
look at what you got here, and Ketia is better than your Chris. You don't even believe that, but go on, Jess. You
no.
don't
I
believe
mean,
that.
with Gyökeres, I think Gyökeres is probably the least of our problems, and the reason why I say that is because, to be honest, I just think we look better with a false nine, and as long as we have one available, we'll probably be okay. We just don't feed the striker, and I don't actually think that that's on Gyökeres at all. And so I think he's being scapegoated because it's just an easy target. He was a big signing. People are giving us like, they're trying to banter us over it. He's the least of our problems. You could put Gabrielle up front or Calafiori and we'd probably be okay. We don't play with a striker for real. Like it's really not that deep. So it's whatever. And honestly, I think at a certain point, Arteta will just Gyökeres will slowly go to the bench. I just think once Kai comes back
I
and
think we're there already, Jess, man.
yeah, Jesus is back. It's just a matter of time. He's really not our biggest problem. Odegaard just got back from injury, and he's pretty much been out the entire season. Don't know what you guys want him to do, but you hate him, so I have nothing else to really add to that one. With Saka, though, he's pretty much been playing since the moment Nani got injured against Man City. And I think he hasn't really got going. Yeah. I'll be honest. I don't think he's really got going. Of course, he's always going to pitch in with GA, but I can't remember the last time I felt like he was in a run of form. And he's had more than enough time to get into a run of form. Because again, the Man City game, when was that? That was like October or something like that. It was a long time ago. It was one of our first 4 games, so, and we're well into the season now. So I think with Saka,
you're even calling Saka greedy for not squaring it to Gyökeres, bearing in mind he scored Brentford.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but this crosses into Agendaville for me.
Yeah,
like,
to me, it's
if you
not
don't
even
score, draw
about
him out,
that.
but he bagged.
Yeah, for me, it's not really about him not squaring it to Gyökeres. It's just, I just feel like I'm not seeing the best version of Saka, and I'm not understanding what's keeping him from getting there yet, because he's had time. He hasn't been injured for a while now. So I'm not quite sure what it is. I just have to hope that in the second half of the season, I really do think we have to get one, if not 2 of our attackers really on it, to really get going. And he's not really on it yet. So he had a poor performance against Chelsea. I'm not going to lie. That wasn't great, but we know he has every ability to turn it around. So he still has credit in the bank for me, but the standards are what they are. He's our best player. So it needs to look like it. on a regular basis, I
And I,
feel.
and I think you're right, because the attackers, like, obviously, I think Odegaard's feeling his way back in. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I think Odegaard is more of a minutes thing. I think
Mm,
Wolves would have been the perfect time to do the Eze out wide for Odegaard. I think prior to that, you're probably better off, because there's so
mhm,
many moving parts. Sorry, just keeping Eze where he is. He's not doing fireworks, but he's in a good bit of form. Odegaard kind of comes on and mix and blend, and then we kind of take it from there. With Saka, he's down by his high standards. With Gyökeres, I did say in the summer it'd be a miracle for him to get 20 league goals. We all know about, and you referred to it, the striker role and the false nine. I think
yeah,
he'd be lucky to get 15. I don't think he'd get 10, purely because I just think you're a spare part now. I think it's you, Kai Havertz, Marino, whoever's doing the business at the time, probably more likely to be Kai to start. That's where we're kind of going from it. I just think you're a tool. I think you're a tool to try and unblock low
mhm,
blocks. And what the one thing I would say that annoys me about Arsenal with Gyökeres is it feels like when he comes off the pitch, we start creating more chances for a traditional striker. So I don't know if they rate him. I don't know if there's still a bit of to-ing and fromming in that. I think everyone can see Gyökeres is never going to be the greatest technically, but no one can convince me that he has not got the capacity to bag. And I think the general theme is what I'll say, Jess, is what you said earlier, is that whether you're Gyökeres, Noni, Saka, whatever, Eze, even Odegaard, I know some people haven't been fit and some people are adapting. All of you attackers need to pull your fingers out. Every player, full stop.
100%.
Because the
I
same way our
agree.
defenders have been saving us, now we need them out of jail. We've seen 7 different centre half partnerships. 7.
Mhm.
Regardless, we've seen 7. And even going back to the injury thing, yeah, since 2023-24, we've had 93 injuries. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, that's a
mad
deeper
thing.
issue that I feel like needs to be addressed because we should
Madness.
not be getting this amount of injuries. It's actually insane. It's a nasty cycle. One of the worst cycles that we have is the one between Timber and Ben White. You know, it's dark. Like Ben White has to play the whole season because Timber tears his ACL. Then Ben White is playing on a bum knee for an entire season. Then Timber comes back, then he has to play an entire
And
season.
Gapier's got a groin
Now,
knock as well, playing on it.
yeah, I'm like, what is going on? So that's obviously a problem. But yeah, I'm really looking at the attackers as like, are you going to take the bull by the horn and make sure we don't lose games when we concede? Because at this point, for like the last 2, maybe even 3 seasons, the defense has allowed you guys to be able to score 1 goal,
And just
1,
keep it moving.
and just keep it moving.
Even
At
like
some
against
point,
Chelsea, if Timber or Gyökeres bag, we get out of there, and for some fans it would paper over cracks, but you obviously get 3 points and you keep it
mhm,
moving. So it goes
yeah.
back to what you're saying.
100%. And the amount of like, we're like, okay, Gabrielle is one of our biggest, like, big game players, score big goals. Or we're talking about Trossard or even maybe Marino. I'm looking at names like Odegaard, Saka, Eze, Gyökeres to be names that start to kind of push to the forefront. And that's why yesterday I think was kind of like a positive thing for an individually for players like Martinelli and Madueke because they pretty much created something out of nothing. Those are not
Oh, the
goals that
season
we
contender
normally
for
score.
Noni.
Exactly. We don't score those types of goals. They were surprising because they weren't patterns of play, corners, or close tap ins. They were moments of magic where guys just backed themselves and said, fuck it, I'm just going to shoot. We need more of that.
Do
We're
you
going to
think
need
Noni's
a lot
delivered? Do
more
you
of
think
that.
Noni's like finally arrived now? Like, do you think he's a better option than Saka? Do you think Saka should be dropped ahead of him? That's what a lot of people are saying on
Um,
socials.
well, he was before when he got injured against Man City, he was in a good vein of form. He just
Mm.
had not gotten the GA, but he looks to have just kind of like picked up where he left off. He has 3 goals in the Champions League. He's looking good. He's taking on his man. You know, he's positive, you know. So I do think we're really precious about certain players. I can be really precious. You guys know I'm really precious about Odegaard. But who right now, whoever's playing the best and is going to give us the best chance of winning games, I think needs to be playing. And if Saka's not playing at his best, then why would we bench somebody that's in form? Because if you have 3 goals in your last 3 Champions League games, are you not in form?
Two
So I
even.
don't know. Huh?
Two even, I swear. And do you know what? Yeah, obviously the goal he scored was great. Obviously for the strike, obviously because somebody tried to barge him. He's kind of done up 3 players, and I've made what you was alluding to. I like it. I think when Noni signed for us, obviously there was a lot of heat. Since he signed for us, I guess the fans all around the world, the manager, the players, the fans at the ground, he's looked like a confident boy in it. But like you said, You ain't got the GA. And if you look at him at
Yeah.
Chelsea, he does arrive into the boxes. So I'm not going to say that his first goal wasn't the most amazing one for me, if that makes sense. But when I
Mhm.
look at his Bayern Munich finish, and obviously his second goal yesterday, he could have had it actually, but his second goal, that's your bread and butter. Like, you're not any prolific goal scorer, even Trossard, who's probably our most prolific. You're not like, if you score 10, 15, 20 goals, it's not all going to be bangers and screamers. Like, it's them simple kind of tapping. So keep going on the end. To be fair, you know what, Arteta, I know you're a long way removed from your Manchester City days, yeah. And we've spoken before. I always describe Eze as a Swiss Army knife, but whether it's I'm focusing this actually on Eze and Madueke. Everyone knows what you did with Raheem Sterling and Sane at City. I need a bit of that now. I need that because
Mhm.
maybe you've seen that already. Like, he is arriving late into the box. I wouldn't drop Saka, sorry, for Madueke at the moment. I've got no problems if he's rotated in for Wolves. Everton away, I'm going with Saka. Crystal Palace in
Yeah,
the
I
cup
would
final,
too.
I'm going
I
with
would
him.
too. Well, yeah, I
Saka's probably
mean,
starting the next 7 games for me. I'm not gonna cap if
I
he's
would
fit.
I would definitely go with Madueke for Wolves and give Saka just a little bit of rest because even when he came in against Bruges, I was looking at him really closely and I was like, he's kind of limping. He's
I
looking a
can't lie, I
little
didn't need to come
right.
on yesterday, man.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But ultimately, I feel like Arteta's biggest test right now is figuring out how to put out strong enough lineups and get points on the board with players needing to come back and get minutes, players needing to rest. That's so hard. Multiple competitions. It's a lot. So when I don't think Arteta's done much wrong this season. I think he's had some maybe bad moments, but I think he's done well enough in a situation where like shit is he's been up against the ropes at points, like where it's just like, what is going on? So yeah, but Madueke is doing well right now. And this is coming from somebody I know. I've seen people in the comment section like, where is the apologies? Listen,
No, but you shouldn't have to apologize because you
yeah,
said, and we had the same thoughts. Simply don't understand the signing of Madueke.
I
Don't
didn't.
understand that he's not that
I
there's been
didn't.
others, but we understand the fact that he's Chelsea. There's a bit of obviously potential. But one thing I definitely said he's not as bad as people are making out. Is it
Mhm. Yeah.
frustrating? Yeah, there's therefore something there. It was more Arteta likes these unfinished articles, and again, I can speak for just as well. And the majority of people in this world, whether you think Madueke was a great signing or fucking shit, most normal people are not signing those petitions and doing all of that nonsense. Like, and it's not going
Yeah.
to change anything. So we're happy for Noni. Whether this is a marker,
Same.
it's another thing. Like, if you're a squad player, show us that you are doing your thing, but we need more from everyone and our whole collective attackers, which I can't lie, I have to put at the feet of Arteta because
Mhm.
before we talk about Madueke, Eze, Gyökeres, whoever the hell walked in, that has been one criticism. We don't, as much as we've scored 90 to 100 goals, we've been critical of how we're going to attack, how we're going to find new ways. And to
Yep.
be honest with you, from Newcastle to Sunderland, we kind of found a way about that. It does feel like we're going back to handbrake up. I felt that with Chelsea. I'm not saying it's wrong, Arteta, but I feel sometimes you just have to go for it. And I feel sometimes Arteta doesn't change enough.
That's
He's like,
fair.
he'll always try and keep the same system.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's just
Sometimes you got to pivot, man.
yeah, and we just need to I think, honestly, in the title race, because I'm like, this is just so like, you guys, it doesn't have anything to do with him getting engaged. You guys are so weird. Shout out to them, by the way. But yeah,
Big
I
up them, man. We love to see it, Sax.
just but yeah, I think that you know, I think we're going to need at least one big away win or something, to push us over the edge. I really do. And
You don't
we
think
haven't,
Newcastle we already had that?
no,
We
I
beat
don't think,
United as well.
I don't think it's not going to be one of them. It's going to have to, we're going to have to take a bigger scalp, I feel. Anybody that's in form, I feel like we haven't done well. Chelsea were in really good form right before we played them. We couldn't beat them. Aston Villa, most informed team next to us, couldn't beat them. Liverpool were in form, couldn't beat them. We're gonna have to beat one of these teams and push us over the edge. Like,
Pardon me. I hear that.
yeah, I know, like law of averages and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you do this the same, no, I think there's moments in a title race where you just have to kind of force it. We're not a forcing it type of team. So they're gonna have to pull. They're gonna have to do it. They're gonna have to, you know, they're gonna have to
When you
push
make
a
it
little
this,
bit
Eze
more.
needs to be dropped. He's living off that hat. He's been a passenger.
Well, he was dropped. He was hooked, and then he was dropped for the Bruges game. I think he played a lot of minutes, and he did look leggy. But also, like, the weird thing about this team is that they kind of pick and choose when they want to have good performances. Like, they were tired after I thought they were tired after Sunderland, had the little break in international break, turned around and had great performances against Spurs and Bayern, and then looked like shit against Chelsea. So I don't really know what's going on with them, but I do think Eze just needs like maybe a game or two like to sit down. But Eze was to me at fault for the Aston Villa goal. That first one, I solely blamed it on him. I thought that was it.
Nah, you can't solely blame that on him.
Yeah, I can, because he
You
fell asleep at
how
the back
how
post.
how?
You know why? Because
He's
I
not
feel
followed
like
his runner. It's come over from the right hand side. We've not followed our runner. There's several errors. Trossard, sorry, Eze should be following his runner, but solely,
no,
I
but
disagree with the word
crosses
solely.
crosses come into the box, but if he like, what are we supposed to do? Like, you can't stop every single cross. And to be honest, if that was Zinchenko, you guys would have no
I
qualms
still wouldn't
about
just blame
blaming
him. And
him.
then what's our centre half doing? They're playing people on side. But again, as much as I can
You need
criticize
to
them,
follow your
we've
runner.
got ourselves into this mess, sorry, because of the injuries and whatnot. And I must admit, Arteta, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and it's unfortunate that it's another game against Villa. Jess, you've probably seen it on your platform. The minute we lose to Emre, people start doing all that foolishness. As dumb as this is going to sound, yeah, and hindsight's a wonderful thing. Even though I did say it going into it, I didn't think Villa was the game to complicate things. And you're right, he should have tracked his runner. I'm not absolving him for any of that. I don't think it was a football game. I don't think it was a chess match. This is a typical English 12:30. Who
Ah,
kind of wants it more? And I actually felt sorry for our boys because in many ways we did okay. It's just we look spent, man. Like that's why I say the Villa game is just one where the gaffer, the players, everybody just has to hold. We look spent, like, and the,
well,
the, the
the
thing that made it more frustrating is I've never seen so much analysis on us being disappointed for conceding the second goal. But
yeah, well, we get micro analyzed. Like, we could, I'm not to be gross, but like we can't do anything. It's like we do anything and we get criticized for it. We could wipe our ass after we take a shit, and